My art teacher used to say, you just have to feel it. Just feel it. And no matter how hard I sat there trying to feel it, I just ended up with a lot of bad drawings and a mild headache. It turns out she was scientifically right about the feeling, but completely wrong about how to get there. See, there are two chemicals fighting for the will, and only one of them is flow. First, there's dopamine, striving juice. It keeps you laser focused on external goals like winning, being perfect, scrolling at 3 a.m. It works. It's exhausting. It is not flow. Then there's the other stuff, endogenous opioids and something else, which are terrible names for what basically amounts to your brain going, this is nice, let's just stay here. The first one is hard work, the second one is flow. So how do you get from striving to flowing? You have to look at your prefrontal cortex. That's the thinking part of your brain. When you're learning, your inner teacher comes out. He refuses to leave you alone, constantly asking, are we flowing yet? He will not shut up. Scientists call the opposite of this transient hypofrontality, which translates to the fun bit gets a bit quiet. I don't know why scientists refuse to just say that, but I do know this is why you can't think your way into flow. Thinking is the teacher. Flow is what happens when the teacher finally leaves the room. So, how do we get the teacher to leave? Asking him politely won't work. One study had jazz musicians ranging from beginners to pros improvise while monitoring their brains. The pros were able to find flow way more easily than the beginners, and their prefrontal cortexes were practically offline. I don't know why jazz makes people feel sexy, but I do know this is a clear indicator that flow isn't your brain working harder, it's your brain working less. But wait, if flow is just about the brain taking a nap, why couldn't the beginners do it? Why can't I just sit at a canvas and tell my brain to shut up? Because he won't. He's too anxious. He only takes a nap when he feels safe. And that is where my art teacher was actually wrong. You don't just feel it. You have to build it. This brings us to your two friends, talent and mastery. If you are someone like Magnus Carlsen, you can be late to the chess game and crush your opponent easily without having to think much. For the rest of us who are average and not born a genius, you have to start from the bottom. When you first learn something, your prefrontal cortex is taking up a ton of energy. But your big brain doesn't want to feel tired forever. So it starts to forge connections that pass these movements from explicit memory systems to implicit memory systems.
널 사랑하지만 넌 날 사랑하지 않아.
This is how muscle memory starts to form. The idea is to program the right moves in your brain so they become so automatic that your prefrontal cortex finally says, okay, they got this, I'm going to sleep. Repetition and practice speed up that process.
네가 감사합니다. 안녕하세요.
That is when you find flow. If you keep on chasing flow, waiting for your inner genius to pop up suddenly and make you motivated to do stuff, I'm sorry to say, but you're wasting your time. Because that genius isn't a spark, it's the culmination of work. So, you have put in the reps, muscle memory is forming. How do you actually trigger the flow state today? First, control the difficulty. Flow has a Goldilocks problem. And yes, I'm referring to this Goldilocks. Just like her, you don't want something too little or too much. You want it just right.
Mamma mia!
Ensure that whatever you're doing is neither too easy nor too hard. Flow lives right on the edge of your ability. So you want to look for the sweet spot where you have to focus but you aren't overwhelmed. It's also important to create cues for yourself. Making coffee, playing music, seeing Donald Trump on the news again. He does know how to get people's attention. You are training your mind to associate that specific setup with time to work. Mine is open DaVinci Resolve, close every other app, and cry a little. Absorb that negativity and it became the social norm. Would it be cool if you liked the video? Yes, please. You should also eliminate your distractions. Throw your phone 10,000 feet into the air or, put it on do not disturb mode in another room. If you're relying on willpower to not check your phone, you have already lost. If you really can't live without your phone for an hour, go outside and touch some grass. The best thing about learning a skill is that the ceiling is often unlimited. Whether it's drawing, dancing, learning an instrument, you'll always have something to learn, something to be proud of. Once you enter the flow state, you get to escape from the unpredictability of life and live in the moment. With how chaotic the world is right now, it's nice to just enjoy doing something. But if you spend today scrolling instead of practicing, that's fine. We can't all be Magnus Carlsen. Most of us just have to show up. A lot. Badly. So, what are you waiting for? Off you go. Flow. Not scroll. Although, you're already here.